All right, this week we are writing your informative speech based off of your research. This is specifically for those that aren't in class this week, but this assignment is posted on Canvas. So you're going to be writing an informative speech. Your topic is what you've been researching, okay? So this is what your outline looks like, and I'm going to talk to you about what goes in each piece. So you would write your name and your topic of speech right up top. Then this first piece, this is called your attention getting device. Attention getting device can either be a story, an anecdote. Anecdote is a personal story, like a story from your life. A regular story would be a story from like a famous person's life or from history or something. You can do a fact or you could do a quote, but these must be interesting. And then you would transition directly to your topic. So if I was giving a speech about how we need to make healthcare more affordable, my attention getter could be this. When I was 5 years old, I was riding bikes with my sister. I couldn't ride my own bike, and so I got a pump from her, which meant I sat on the back of her seat while she sat on the front and rode her bike. So things were going fine until all of a sudden I felt a sharp pain and we fell over on the bike. I looked down and my ankle was bloody and I could actually see the bone in my ankle. My foot had gotten stuck in the spokes of the tire. So while I'm screaming in pain, my sister Brittany ran home to get my dad and the truck. They loaded me into the bed of the truck and they took me to, you would think, the hospital, but they didn't. They took me directly to my house, laid me on the couch, and let me pass out. I did not go to the hospital to get stitches or to stitch up my ankle. Many people also have these same types of experiences. They get dangerously hurt, seriously hurt, and they don't go to the hospital. Many people don't go to the hospital because they don't have insurance. And that's when I would talk about my topic, which was health insurance. So that's kind of how you would connect your attention getter and your topic. Then your preview is where you state your 3 main points. And on the Canvas assignment, I've talked about what those 3 main points are. The first one is background on your topic. You would probably write what that is here. Your second point is details and information from your research, from each of your sources. And your third point would be what your project will be and information about it. If you're not taking notes on this, you definitely need to be right now so that you have these notes as you are working on your outline. The outline that I've posted for you is kind of bare bones, kind of like how this first point, second point on looks. Okay. So then for your first point, you would literally write what the title of your first point is there. And this is where you would write your information. Okay. And again, this is background information. So it can come from your sources, can just be basic information on your topic. Okay. When you cite a source, you need to put it like this. According to Joe Smith with CNN, he states, and then you put your information. Okay. Your information doesn't need to be in full sentences. It's just phrases or one sentence. Your information should not be word for word. Okay. This is supposed to be a phrase outline. Then your transitions sound kind of formulaic. They are a formula. So you say what you just said and what you're going to say. So I say, now that I've discussed whatever your first point was, now that I've discussed the background on my topic, I'll address the details and information from my research. Something like that, okay? You could change the word discussed or addressed, but it's about the same thing. Second point, third point. Your third point doesn't have a transition because we go straight to the conclusion. Your first part of your conclusion is your review. This is where you restate those 3 points again. So I'd write background on whatever my topic is. Second would be detailed and information from my sources. And the last one would be what my project is. Your third point needs to be about what your project is. Remember, you're going to have the second half of this term or second quarter where you're going to be working on your project. That can be a fair. You could literally build something. You can make a movie, a documentary. You can make a podcast. You really get to choose. So if you haven't cleared what you want your project to be with me, you need to clear that with me before you write that third point for this speech. You'll give your speech, and then the next week after, we'll start working on your project. Your summary on your outline is where you do like 1 to 2 sentences, wrapping everything up and like summarizing your speech. The final point, end on impact. You want to refer back to your attention getter. And I like to say you like wrap your speech up like it's a gift with a bow on it. So if my attention getter was my ankle story, I would say, so while not everyone gets their foot caught in the spokes of their tires, most people will have some sort of health issue that needs attention. When that happens, hopefully you will have insurance. If not, you might be placed on the couch to pass out and hope it fixes itself like I was. So I refer back to my story. I don't restate it, but I refer to it, and then I wrap things up. Okay, so this outline is due at the end of the week. Next week, we will be peer editing and practicing. The next week, you will present this speech. Okay, this is a big part of your grade, this speech is. And so you really, really need to be ready to present it. I won't accept any late speeches. You need to be ready to present it, and it needs to be totally full. This speech needs to be 4 to 6 minutes. Okay, 4 to 6 minutes. All right, so that means each of your main points will be right around 1 minute long. Okay, so I would suggest just doing 1 point at a time, making sure you have enough information to speak about it for 1 minute. Your intro should be about 45 seconds, and your conclusion should be about 30 seconds. If you hit all of those time limits, then you'll hit your minimum 4-minute requirement. It'll actually be at 4:15. Okay, so you could speak a little bit more about each point, but not less than a minute for each main point, 45 seconds for your intro, and 30 seconds for your conclusion. All right, if you have questions, please let me know. If you've been missing class a lot lately, really try to make it, because I don't want you to fall behind even more than you are. Midterm grades are actually due 2 days before you give this speech. And so it's mostly just your assignments. So if you don't have those assignments in your midterm, or your quarter grade is going to be rough. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions and you need anything.